Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is an old channel. My account is old on YouTube, but I have never made. I made a handful of videos only. I'm gonna start trying to make more videos now. Videos. The subject matter for now will be hardware, computer hardware. I dabble in various vintage electronics. I can repair them. I'm actually a software engineer, but I can fix CRT TVs and some vintage electronics. I also have experience building PCs. So this video, I'm going to share with you what I'm preparing to build my next build. And I haven't built a desktop in like maybe 10 years. It's been a while. I think since 2016, 2015, so like pretty much 10 years ago. And I actually live in Taiwan right now. But I'm actually from the US. And so I'm gonna be doing my creating my videos from Taiwan, and this is also why I'm thinking about having the channel be about hardware, computer hardware, because some of you might know or might not know that Taiwan is pretty much like the Silicon, not Silicon Valley, but like Taiwan has creates all the chips for like NVIDIA and Apple and the big companies, tech companies, and the company's called TSMC. It's based in Taiwan, and some of you guys might also know that Asus and Gigabyte are also Taiwanese companies. So there's a lot of tech companies in Taiwan, hardware companies especially, that produce a lot of the hardware that you use, and they make really quality stuff. So I'm gonna try to introduce you guys to the newest tech, the newest hardware in Taiwan, and you know, we'll have different types of videos. You know, maybe we'll do some benchmarking, things like that. And if you guys want to register, subscribe, and you know, in the comments, tell me what you guys want to see in the video. Like, do you want to see reviews? You know, me putting up together builds, benchmarking, anything. Any suggestion you guys have, like, I'm definitely open to them, because right now the channel is like completely new. So let's just start off with the build. This build, I pretty much bought all the components already. So some of the stuff I ordered online. Some of the stuff I actually went to a physical store to buy. In Taiwan, there's this huge tech mall. So basically, this whole building of technology, of like electronics and hardware, and it's pretty cool. Like, I've never been to one like that in the US. Like in the US, you would go to like, you know, Best Buy or like, you know, your electronics store. But in Taiwan, there's basically this department store or this mall where like there's all these stalls, and it's called Guanghua, and it has different vendors selling. A lot of vendors selling PC equipment, basically hardware. Yeah. So this build started out as a white build, all white build, but then I ran into some issues, so it's not going to be completely a white build right now. Like, for example, the PSU stands for Power Supply Unit, and the PSU is actually black. Yeah, it's a Phanteks Revolt SFX 850. So I got an SFX because I do want to do a ITX build in the future, and I was thinking that I could use this PSU for an ITX build. So SFX, SF just stands for small form factor, and these PSUs are just smaller, so that you can fit them into like a smaller case, like ITX case. But the case I got is a Phanteks case, as you can see here. It is a it's a NV5 case. It's white, and it's called the MKII model. Now, the reason why I got the MKII model, which is the newer model, because Phanteks releases two NV5s. One is the original NV5, and one is the MKII. And the MKII has special motherboard cutouts, so that you can actually add a motherboard like this one. So this motherboard is special because it has back connectors. So traditionally, basically all motherboards connect from the front. But recently, the last couple of years, I think, they came out, like the manufacturers came out with like motherboards that connect from the back. And they do this now. The design, this new design is supposedly for cosmetic reasons, because a lot of motherboards, if you connect them from the front, you're gonna see the wiring, the cabling, right? But if you think about it, if you connect to a motherboard from the back, then all the wires are hidden in the back. And often the back of the board is hidden with the case facilitates that. So if you notice, a lot of cases now, modern cases, they have a window, like a tempered glass window, and that usually exposes the front of the board. So where the CPU lies and the GPU plugs into. And normally, you also would plug in your PSU there, and so you see a lot of wires in front. But with the back connector boards, you can hide that in the back. And then so when you show off your CPU cooler or your CPU and your GPU, there's no clutter in the front. So it's just aesthetically more pleasing. So this is why I got this board, because I want to be able to have the cables be hidden in the back. And also just because it's kind of a cool board. Like I haven't ever played around with a board like this. Like I've only ever built PCs using your traditional motherboards with the front connectors. So this is a Gigabyte Aorus motherboard, and it's called the Stealth Ice. And I guess the reason why the name is pretty interesting. It's called Stealth because it helps you hide wires. So they call it the Stealth Ice. And also the I stands for basically the fact that it's white. So it's a white motherboard. Remember, I wanted to build all white PC, never built one before. So the Phanteks case is white. The Gigabyte motherboard is white. I even got the white Kraken Elite 280 RGB from NZXT. This cost me a fortune. So this is probably one of the most expensive components in this build. Yeah, because in Taiwan, the NZXT Kraken is pretty expensive. It's higher than retail compared to the US. So I could have ordered this from Amazon and it would have been cheaper, but like I was like in a rush and I didn't want to wait for Amazon to ship it. Even though Amazon probably only takes like 3 days to get here, I just wanted to buy it. So I went to the store and bought it. I went to Guanghua, that Taiwan mall, and I bought it. So yeah, I paid a lot for this. I don't want to talk about how much I paid for it. It hurts my wallet. But anyway, so yeah, I wanted this one because I really like the design of the Elite. The Kraken Elite is so clean, and especially the white one looks really nice. And it has a really large LCD display. It's basically, as you can see here, it's 2.36 inches wide, angled. It's just pretty big, and it's customizable. It's just a really nice screen. It has good resolution too, pretty high resolution, I heard. You can play videos on here, not just like you can put images on there, like GIFs, animated GIFs, but a lot of coolers support that now. But you guys, I think you can play a video on here too. So this, this is a nice cooler. It has a nice display, and it also is like kind of the frills. I mean, like obviously the display doesn't really help with cooling. Like a lot of these coolers perform very similarly, but like obviously I paid for the display. Like paying this much for the cooler is. I'll say how much I pay. I pay like more than $300 for this. So like this is basically why I pay that much, because the display is the expensive factor here. It's what's costing the most money to build this cooler. The display is really cool, and I just like the design of the display too. It's really simple, clean. A lot of displays I've seen, look really complicated looking, or they look really like they just don't look clean. And I was contemplating getting this one or the ROG. I think it's called the ROG Ryujin or something like that. 3, and that has a square or rectangular display, and I just really prefer the round one more. That display is even larger, I think, but it's super nice. It's actually really nice, but it's just what you prefer, like visually. Like I kind of like the round display over the square or the rectangular display. Okay, moving on. This is the white RAM. It's RGB RAM that I got. It's the G.Skill Ripjaws M5 RAM. It's DDR5. It's 6,000. It's either 6,000 or 6,400 speed. And I think the CL is like 30 or something like that. It's pretty good. It's fast RAM. And it's 32 megabytes. So 2 DIMMs, 16 gigabytes each. Totaling 32 gigabytes. So my motherboard can fit, I think, 4 DIMMs. So I'm not gonna fill it up. Obviously, I'm just gonna to start off I'm gonna just use two DIMMs. So as you can see, the case matches the RAM, the cooler, the motherboard matches even, and even the mouse matches is white. So I got the Logitech MX Master 3S. I really like this mouse. So I just like Logitech, and I'm also used to Logitech mice. I looked into Razer and other types of mice, and a lot of those mice are for gaming. And obviously, I'm gonna use this computer for different reasons, for productivity and for gaming. But I'm not a professional gamer, obviously, so I don't need something that a mouse that has super fast reaction time, speed, and things like that. So this mouse is fine for me. I mean, it's for me. Okay, so that's the mouse, and I also got an SSD drive. So this is a M.2 SSD from Adata, and it's the Legend 900. And I don't know anything about SSD drives, but this one supposedly has pretty good speed. It's a Gen 4 PCIe drive. I asked about Gen 5 drive because I think my board supports it, but then the salesperson at the store was like, it's just way too expensive. It's really expensive. The PCIe 5 Gen 5 drives are really expensive still. So the prices haven't come down yet. So this drive, I think I paid maybe, I forget how much I paid for it, but I think I paid maybe $60 for it, something like that, 60 USD. So this drive is obviously black, so that's not white. But I think most builds, you know, you're not gonna see a white M.2 drive. At least I don't think there are any. There might be, but and also the drive will be hidden anyway by the cover. Like for example, the board has a cover for the drive, and the cover is white, so it's gonna cover it up anyway. So yeah, so basically everything's white except for the power supply. Power supply is black, but so basically I could have bought a white power supply, obviously, but then like I really wanted this specific power supply by Phanteks. It has a lot going for it. First of all, it's an 80 plus platinum. So I always buy platinum power supplies because I really do want to save electricity, right? I want to buy the most efficient. So if those of you that don't know, a platinum PSU is more efficient than a gold PSU. So that means that it's not going to waste as much electricity going through it. The components are rated higher so that it's able to retain as much electricity as possible without, you know, any loss. And this another thing going for this. So other than efficiency, this one has ATX3 support, and it has PCIe Gen 5 support, and it's fully modular. So Gen 5 is important because I really wanted Gen 5 support because my motherboard supports Gen 5. So I might as well take advantage of that. And also fully modular means that I don't have to, so basically the connectors are removable. They're not physically stuck onto, the cables are not stuck onto the PSU. They're fully removable. And so modular power supply is nice because you basically have the power supply, you have all these plugs in the back, and you can choose to plug in whatever you need. Like, so obviously it's going to require one main plug for the power going to the PC, to the motherboard to power it. But then, you know, there's also other ports for like SATA, for like the hard drives and things like that I'm not going to use. But imagine you're using a lot of these features on the PSU. You're going to have tons of cabling coming out of it. So having a modular one, you can plug and play. You can plug in whatever you need, and then it's cleaner that way. It's just easier to manage the cabling in a fully modular PSU. And lastly, it's just two more reasons why I got it. So it's an FSX, you know, PSU, which means I just told you it's a small form factor one, so it's smaller than your ATX form factor PSU, your standard ones. So you can fit this in like small cases. You could do MATX, MITX, or ATX, or EATX. You mean basically you go small, you can go big. It's all great. You know, it'll fit. So it's very versatile in that way, and it's also 850 watts. So that's also important because I noticed that once you go above 850, it jumps to like 1,000 watts usually, and 1,000 watts costs a lot more. So like basically PSUs that have that support 1,000 watts or higher, there's like a pretty big gap in price. I noticed that 850, 750, 650, obviously the prices are more, you know, are more affordable. I think the sweet spot nowadays is like, I've seen a lot of like 750 PSUs being sold. Yeah, I think that's like considered like a sweet spot right now for PSUs. Because what's happening is that our graphics cards are consuming more wattage, and so we need stronger or more powerful PSUs to power those graphics cards, GPUs. So like, you know, NVIDIA's, you know, for example, NVIDIA supports the newest, the flagship card is the 4090, and I believe that card requires like 400 plus watts, 450 I think, of power. So this power supply at 850 is able to support that card. But I think barely, as in like, I think this will work, like the 850 should work for a 4090. And obviously your other components will add onto that number, like the wattage number that you need. But I believe with my build the way it is right now, it will work on 850 power supply, the 4090. So I was surprised. So this is, as you can see, I have the motherboard, cooler, memory, PSU, mouse, the M.2 SSD, and I have the Phanteks case. Okay, this is an ATX case. It's the NV5. But what I haven't talked about is the CPU and the GPU. So those are like the main components of your build, right? Like that. I mean, without those two components, you basically don't have a computer, right? So the reason why I omitted them is because they're not here yet. So I did buy them, but they're not available yet. So they haven't arrived yet. Okay, I couldn't buy them physically at the store because I was very particular in what I wanted. So that's kind of a surprise for next time, the next video. So next video I'll describe what CPU I got and why, and the GPU I got and why. And yeah, the GPU is gonna be very interesting actually. You'll see why. But yeah, just tune in next time. Please subscribe and like the video. That helps with YouTube's algorithm to promote my video. And I am a new I guess, I don't know, what do they call YouTuber? I guess a new YouTuber, right? I was thinking of streamer, but I'm not streaming right now. Yeah, so I'm a new YouTuber. I've had my account for like a long time, like at least since 2013, I think, or even longer. But I haven't, I've never done any videos. But I've been watching a ton of YouTube videos, a lot about PC building and the benchmarking and just all types of videos. So like it just motivated me to start, giving back, I guess. Like making videos is not easy, but I really want to kind of help people and like give away information and kind of like make recommendations. Like basically I'm just a regular guy. Yeah, my channel is actually named after me. My channel is Andy New. Andy New's my name. Like that's my real name actually. So like I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm just some guy who's making videos about tech in general, basically. And so thank you again for just bearing with me with this video. So like I'm using an iPhone to record all this stuff, so I don't have any really real like video equipment to like make really professional videos, but I really don't have the knowledge or skill to do that even. So I think for now I'm just gonna make these like iPhone videos and just upload them, and I might have some basic editing involved, but that's it. So thank you for your patience. I'm gonna try to improve on these videos as time goes by, but for now I think this is the best I can do for now. Well, with the time, I have a full-time job too, so this is just a hobby. And thank you again for watching. Also, obviously, I'll have further videos regarding the CPU, GPU, and also the unboxing of all these components and the build. And obviously, once I finish the build, we'll be benchmarking games on the PC that I built here. All right, thank you so much for your time. Have a great day.